into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show for the Real Housewives of Orange County. We're finding Jesus and recapping every moment of the finale. But don't worry, there's more to come with the recaps. With the reunions. So,
amen, Grant.
We're not going anywhere.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Holla, hallelujah.
Holla and hallelujah.
Okay, I'm here now. Good. Oh, Christy, work it out.
I'm your lead pastor this evening, Grant. You can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. The disciples are here.
Oh my gosh, I love this. We are thematic to the end, everybody. And my name is Christy Olsen, and you guys can all tweet me your positive proverbs at Christy Reports.
Wow.
There we have it.
I feel like I need to carry it
You
on,
do.
ladies.
Keep it going.
I'm Alison Dean, and if you'd like, you can also tweet or Instagram or whatever you want to do with me at the Alison Dean.
All right. And I'm Blake V, and I'm going to bring this on home, and all you choir angels can sing to at Blake V Media on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes. There you go. And that has been your sermon. Yes.
Oh, there we have it.
Okay. And now for the announcements. Just kidding. We're going to break down the show like we usually.
Back in the game, guys. All right.
Tonight's episode, Baptism by Fire. Tamra is ready to go with this baptism. She keeps mentioning it like it's like a new surprise. Like she has to keep explaining several times why she's getting this done.
What a baptism is.
Yeah, and why she's getting it.
Yes.
We got it. We got it. So she's starting over and all that, and then everyone's showing up to this wonderful hotel. Have you been there before, Blake?
I haven't, actually.
Which one was it?
It was like the Bay. I think they showed like the sign of it, the Bay, Newport Bay. Yeah, Bay Club maybe.
Balboa something.
Balboa Bay Club.
Yeah, that was it.
There we have it.
And then we had it pointed out to us that it's very OC. Oh yes, this is very OC.
Well, both.
We had to say it a couple times to let us know. Like, okay, it's good.
When you're getting baptized in a pool, we know you're very OC.
Yeah. There you go.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So it looks good, and everyone's showing up, and Shannon. It's kind of like almost like a little like recap of where everybody is. Like Shannon's like, yeah, everything's good. It's like, wow, say that again. Everything's good, huh?
I know with this finale, it's like every issue that the season started out with has been flipped on its head. Mm-hmm. I feel like where we started is the complete opposite of where we are today.
Woofda.
Right?
Amen.
But I want to point out, too, that last season, things were on the up and up with those two. Mm-hmm. Only to have this affair be very much a real thing, just not pointed out on the show, and even all the women knew about it. So it's like, I really do hope the best for them. But last season ended on a high note for them. We saw where that went all season.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's true.
But I feel like everything's good now, but that's what we're led to believe.
Yeah. Very true.
Although I've been following her on Instagram all year, and no, she takes a lot of happy selfies. I don't know. I believe it.
Yeah.
I think she's
good. No, I want to.
I
want to.
I do too.
Yeah.
If she's not happy, she really wants to be.
Right.
Definitely.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Glass half full.
Think it, then be it.
Nice. See?
We're like so inspirational tonight.
Think to win.
It's like,
is Pastor Mike here?
I know, in spirit.
And there he is. No. Sadly, no.
While they showed up, then Vicki showed up. She was on high alert. She said, of course, Brooks is not there. This woman just started drinking the minute she showed up because she was I was like tense watching her, and this was taped months ago. Vicki.
Yeah.
she this weird energy. She was the way she was carrying herself. She was a mess the whole time. I don't think she's gonna be happy with how she came off in this episode at all.
Oh, I don't think so either. It was hard to take. I feel like many things that were said and what she did, and just overall disappointing a little bit. I hate to use that word, but truly, like it was
all of her behavior.
Yes, like just the whole thing from the beginning to the end. You know?
I thought it was just interesting when Tamra started talking to her in the limo. Am I jumping too far ahead to bring this up right now?
No, go for it. Go ahead.
I'm like,
It's an observation.
We
Why
won't
not?
crucify you.
Thank you so much, Christy. No, I just thought it was really interesting how surprised Vicki seemed when Tamra was sort of delivering all the facts about the PET CT scan and how it doesn't happen there, and then suddenly Vicki's wheels were turning in her head a little bit, as though she was like, oh, wait. Like, she really did look surprised and not aware and didn't know how to react to it.
She didn't know
at all.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
completely interesting.
Yeah, I found her to be pretty calculated throughout the
Yes!
episode. I think she definitely was in an emotional state.
Yes.
That we don't usually see her in, but she was still trying really hard to make sure that she was keeping her wheels together so that they could spin in the right direction.
Totally.
Right.
And I really think that Vicki is a manipulator. You know? So the whole time, I mean, really this whole season, not even just this episode, but the whole season, I truly think that she believed it would be fairly easy to, like, get the girls to kind of, like, toe the line and, like, just kind of fall into place the way she played them.
She expected it.
Right. And just kind of say this, say that, tell someone to do something for everyone else and get everyone all lined up, and that it would just fall into place for her. And now that it's not, and they're really coming hard for her and, like, trying to find everything out and find the truth of it all, she, like, is surprised truly and, like, can't take it and is just like, what is happening? I was gonna get everyone to do what I said.
Yeah, it was season 10 and she's the OG of the OC, and I feel like you're right. She thought she was going to come in and run the show.
Yes.
Write the script.
Yes.
I'm a big Vicki fan. In fact, before the show started, I would send gifts to my friends and be like, I am her. Like, I am this woman. Like, if I identify with any of the Housewives, it would be her. But, I mean, she's getting kind of hard to defend. However, I'm still a fan of Vicki, and I'm going to chalk it up to just her towing the line for someone that's just not worth paying attention to.
I'm with you, Grant. Yes. I thought visually she looked her best this season.
Yeah.
She had a great...
Oh, completely agreed.
She looked great this
She looked
season.
lovely this whole entire
Truly.
season.
Whenever they did a flashback, I was like, wow, Vicki looks great now.
I know. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Anyway.
Fully agree.
Although I did have a moment when all the housewives were standing outside of the hotel and she was in the car and she was just too good to be bothered and she just didn't want to do it anymore. It reminded me of that fool Nene when all the antics she played, but she couldn't participate in things when the going got tough. I don't have much respect for that.
The diva behavior.
Yeah, and it's not only that, like, you're a part of an ensemble show, A. B, you're a long-standing housewife, both of them.
Yeah.
You get paid good money to sit around and argue. You get paid to be a bitch.
Do it!
Right.
I mean, come on, it's the finale. I'm expecting it. And these women know that this baptism is the final finale for this season. It's not a surprise. I mean, it's all set that way. They have to know how many episodes and how many things are going to be booked. I mean, like, they're not, it's a produced show. It has to be.
Right, and that's why they had Tammy and Lynn and everybody else there that we liked.
Yeah, brought everyone back.
Yes, well, the choir was performing. Lynn looking very virginal in a white dress. I say that with my eyes very
Everyone
wide.
looking very virginal.
Everyone.
Truly.
Everyone.
Yes.
And Lizzie's lost some weight, I feel like. I was thinking that looking at her Instagram lately, but she looked very thin.
She wasn't
on
her
this
favorite
episode.
color.
She looked great. That's right. Everyone wearing her favorite color.
But this time it was finally fitting. This was the one she should wear white to.
I love
It would have been so funny if she showed up in like
not
pink.
white.
Yeah. It would have been so good.
I love that you bring it up. Like, you consistently monitored this girl's wardrobe.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's
I
great.
pay attention.
Well, and it was just so blatant. Like every single time we
Yes.
saw her, she was in white.
Right.
White.
Yeah.
She
Always
did
white.
look slim though. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
She looked more svelte than we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like white is, I mean, obviously visually identifiable, but aside from visually, I feel like I recognize white all the time because I'm horrified to wear it all the
Yes.
time.
Oh, really?
Because I'm like the mess master. Like, I'll sit on something
Yes.
or bump into something or
Spill
like
my coffee.
scrape against something,
Yes.
lean on something, and my white will be ruined 10 minutes after I leave the house.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So I am like not
Amen.
a white wearer for all of those reasons.
Yes.
So anyone who is like brave enough to wear white
You're like, I
everywhere,
applaud you, Lizzie.
I'm like, wow.
Yes.
They must
Brave lady.
They must have a high dry cleaning bill.
Clearly.
Because whenever I wear white, I'm like, all right, I'm wearing this. It's one and done.
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah.
Buy it cheap because it's not lasting.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Well, Lizzie's friend Tamra was not even concerned about getting her bronzer all over. Who wears bronzer when you're wearing something white?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
This truly was a brave
that's
occasion.
more
Was
so-
it like a
that's more than
spray
brave
tan
ladies.
bronzer thing?
I wonder.
I don't know,
I didn't
like-
see any rubbing
I think
off.
she said spray tan.
They get in OC. They
think
get
so.
different levels of spray tan than anywhere else in the world. I think it's like
Is it
it's a different caliber.
Permatan.
There's different amenities
with different
that-
levels
Yes.
of adhesion.
And
like
bronzer.
it won't rub off like everyone
Shimmer.
else's
Right.
spray tan.
Yes.
Won't baptize off.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Baptism
This is what I'm
proof
saying. Yes.
spray tan.
Yes.
You pay extra for that kind.
Let's talk about the baptism because I thought it was very well done and it was soapy the way they had like the water overlaid with all these flashbacks from Tamra from over the years of the drama, being upset up to present day, and I thought it was kind of a nice retrospective on Tamra, who's been on the show for a while, and she's definitely a fan favorite. Some people love to hate her more than love her, I guess, but I like Tamra, and I thought it was just really well done. What did you think of the actual ceremony?
I liked it. I did like it. I mean, I feel like it was exactly how I thought it was going to be. Truly. Like, I thought that it was going to be just like a small ceremony, kind of got it done, and then like a party afterwards. She didn't go really too crazy because she could have made like a spectacle of it, and I don't think she did. She kept it kind of realistic and mellow and lovely, and I thought it was great. And I really liked that montage too. I think that was Bravo's best cinematic moment.
Yes.
Yes, agreed.
Oh,
If I
They
do say so.
outsourced that. They outsourced that, guys.
I mean, it was deep. It was lovely, and yeah, I was in. I
Someone
liked
did
it.
their research. They pulled back the layers of Tamra. I agree.
And literally the layers on their editing program, like it was full and
was
complete and
all
wonderful.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
it needed to
I
be
loved
kind
it.
of phenomenal because we've been waiting all season to see if this was like buyable. You know what I mean? Ever since that, I thought she's getting baptized and it's on camera and the whole. But this did seem really legit. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and everyone seemed to be really touched by the whole thing. I mean, she was touched. Everyone else was very affected. So it was lovely. Go Tamra.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, that didn't stop all the Brooks talk from the episode from happening. Right away, Heather is coming up defending her husband with a new story associated with the cancer.
Like, where did that come
And
from?
like, yeah. Like,
You'd
here-
think
add us
we'd
to
have
the
heard
list.
this before, but we
Right.
didn't. Brand new.
So basically, I wrote it down. There's a story. I'll make sure I got it right. The story about Brooks feeling sick from the chemo, where they had to call Terry, who then sent over a colleague to set up an IV drip inside Vicky's house. Vicky told Shannon and Brianna this, and then denied ever knowing anything about it. And her excuse was that maybe I'm traveling. And it's like,
What?
What?
Yeah, I have so many issues on so many levels with all of this.
Just doesn't, that doesn't add up.
No.
And again, you could see the calculation on her face as she was being told this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely looked like, how do I respond to this
Like
right now?
like not completely surprised.
No.
Like her face was sort of like, how do I get out of this one?
Right.
Like it wasn't,
Exactly.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like true shock. Like, oh, what?
Like the pet
What a
CT
crazy
scan
story.
Limo.
Yeah.
That looked like true shock.
Yes.
Yeah. Vicky
Yeah.
had the varying
She has
levels of
varying
reaction
levels, yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Because you know what? She's catching herself on all these. I feel like she's
Yeah.
going, dang it, Vicky, you overlooked that one. Or like, oh, you slipped up on that.
Right,
Like,
and
we
we-
didn't call to make sure they do the scans. What is wrong with you, Vicky?
Yes.
You're better than this.
And Christy and I looked at each other at a point too where when Vicky entered the baptism, everybody said, "Where's Brooks?" Or Heather said, "Where's Brooks?" or something. She goes, "Oh, he's at home watching the fight." And then later, they were like, "Where are you running off to so quickly?" She always has to run off, and I don't like that. I don't understand why she's always in such a
I
hurry.
hate when people do that.
Hate it. So she had to run off, and then someone else said, "Where are you going to?" She goes, "Oh, I'm going to a party where Brooks is at." Well, is he at a party or was he watching the game or the fight rather?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like get your story straight. It's one night. You've only been here an hour. At least
catch,
tell
yeah.
the same story.
Yeah.
Tamara said it was rude, and I agree with her.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's a special moment for her. They're supposed to be such tight friends.
Exactly. And Vicky made such a deal about how touched she was and how she loved it and was so, thankful to be witness to all of this. And then what was more important to her was rushing off to this other party. No matter what the other party was, what was it that was so important that, she needed to just bypass
She
Tamara's
didn't want to be there.
baptism?
She didn't want to be there.
It's
bad.
I agree. I have a family member in my close family area, and they do this stuff all the time. And it's just, I could see it playing out the way Vicki was doing it. I could just see it playing out where it's like they wouldn't be anywhere else.
Yeah.
They're so happy to be there. It means so much to them, but they've got somewhere to be, and it's like we gotta roll with this. Let's go. Like, and that's exactly how she was. And to me, it's very disingenuous. That's been my experience with being on the receiving end of something like that. And it's like, really?
And
are
even
you
on
really
this-
that happy to be here if you gotta leave?
Right.
Totally. And even on this show, Vicki seems to be the only one who's consistently in a hurry for everything. She's too busy for everything. You always catch her saying, I have to get back to work. I have to go to this. I have to go to that. I have to leave. I have
Hurry
to
up
go to
the
party."
IV!
Yeah. I mean, even with Brooks, she's too busy for him. She's always got, it's like she's frantic. She's just like, she cannot, she's like ADHD or something. I don't know what it is. She can't just chill and appreciate and relax a moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to be outdone, Meghan jumps in and she has to say, look, by him being sick, I know you were all over this, Christy. Yeah, what did she say? So along the lines of with him demonstrating inability to work.
Yes, legally, when you have an inability to work, that also gets you out of paying child support because you can't earn money, so you have zero earnings, so you owe zero child support.
OMG.
Right? I'm like, she's got it all figured out again. Meghan is a genius.
How good of a point was this to bring up?
It was a very good point. And all the ladies, when that was revealed, it was like...
it was like, bing! Light bulb.
Right? No one, and just now, even us, no one defended Brooks and said, oh, come on. We all, including the ladies, are like, oh, yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.
We've been looking for a reason. That's been the whole thing. Why would someone lie about having cancer? And maybe storyline. To maybe get the girls on board. Maybe to get Brienne on board. But this not having to pay child support thing is like a legit, actual reason that you could be like, okay, I see it.
I know. It makes me like just shrivel. It's so bad.
We didn't think this would get ickier.
I know.
Icky.
It's like getting worse even. And then the thing really is that if Vicki is really, in on all of this, like, God forbid, this would be like the most horrible news. But if she really is in on all of this, she is the first one to get super angry at someone else's parenting skills. And she, yelled at Meghan and said, oh, you're not raising that stepdaughter right. Or,
Slade.
Yeah. Oh my God, everybody. Like, she's the
She
first
called
to...
her own daughter a shit stirrer tonight.
That was one of the worst
did.
things she's ever said.
Really?
I was
really.
like...
I mean, and like she is the first to throw somebody else's parenting skills under the bus. So then when she is defending someone else's poor parenting, like that's just like mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm. She has a tendency to sometimes project, though, I think. And in her defense this season, I think that, obviously stressful situations affect people differently. Obviously, the death of her mother was something very traumatic. Now, obviously, the Brooks cancer thing was a story that had already been happening. So, but she may have just really been overwhelmed and just lost her mind a little bit after her mother died.
Well,
it's possible.
It is possible.
I love that you showed the other side to it.
Right.
It's necessary for this.
It's
platform.
possible. I'm not saying that's the reason, but it's something to consider.
We're always saying that she's projecting and she's deflecting. She was even the one tonight to say, deflection. I'm like, you're deflecting the deflection. But I'm glad you brought that up because, that's true. We have to remember to have a semblance of sympathy towards her. But we saw a little clip of the reunion, just a tiny little, we wanted more, but they
wouldn't give it.
And
Bravo.
And Andy was talking about how he got an email from a former housewife that he's whipping out. Now he's the one whipping out the emails at the reunion. So we're wondering if that's maybe Gretchen and that she has something to say about Vicki being all over Slade for not paying his child support.
For sure.
I definitely think it is.
Come on.
I mean, and talk about like karma, right? I mean,
now you sound like Gretchen.
Truly though. I mean, if this isn't like the biggest helping of karma, it's just like Vicki is the first to just like, talk about crucifying somebody. She's the first to get on anybody else for their parenting in various degrees. Yeah. And then now if she's defending the one person who, if it is true that he's, trying to evade, taking care of his kids or anything like that, she's defending that, it's just shocking. Like I couldn't even make sense of it.
See, I still view Vicki at this point still as a victim. She's making the decision to go along with this for whatever it is, for whatever reason. But I can just see her selling this as playing the victim card. That she was trying to be a loyal girlfriend, and she was with him during a bad time, and he was fighting something. I don't know. I just feel like she's going to be able to turn it around to better her image. I don't know how, but she will.
She could get away with it.
I don't think that you're wrong about that. I mean, I certainly think that depending on what happens for another season, she knows, she's smart. She knows how to...
Well, and she's a master manipulator.
Yeah,
That's what's gotten her into this mess in
101.
the first place. It's probably going to get her back out. So,
You guys mentioned earlier that the whole thing, when they talked about the child support and everything, just seemed icky, and all the women agreed. They were all uncomfortable except Meghan. She's like, I'm not uncomfortable at all.
I thought that was so funny.
I love that moment.
Cheers!
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it then. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our cheers and jeers segments, the little moments that popped out to us, the highs and lows of tonight's episode. So, Blake, do you want to go first?
sure. I do. Okay, so my cheers was starting at Tamra's baptism. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was really lovely. I believed it. I think she's found the Lord. And I really liked her little after party, too, and how she had her angel food cake, and her devil's food cake. I just thought that was really
Nice touch.
cute and clever,
Yes.
right? Like, only Tamra.
Yes.
You know?
Although I
So-
was trying to figure out the devil's food cake one. I was like, well, okay, what's making it the like, was there
it was like spikes and like
Was that what it was
darkness. Like,
it's like a dark chocolate cake.
I wanted to
so
see like fire coming on.
yeah.
maybe it was like drawn in
Where's
the middle
the
and
fire?
we didn't see.
I don't know. Okay.
Anyway,
Maybe it was spicy cake. There's your fire.
Okay. Little
like
heat
a
Spicy
Well, we
cake.
have seen more extreme desserts on Housewives.
Yes.
The sculptures and things. So I think they could have been
The
stepped it
cake
up.
with the bow.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
Right.
the cake with the bow.
but it wasn't an occasion to be a spectacle, and I think she proved it. Like, she really
Yeah.
just kept it, lovely, and I don't know, like, I thought it was appropriate, totally tasteful. I bought it. It was good. I liked the cake choices.
Cheers to that.
Well done.
Yeah.
Cheers. And then my jeers is to... I'm like, we're still happy. We've got to.
That was a really good one. Yay.
Yeah. My jeers is to Vicki at the end when she unleashed her Brianna Esther comment.
That's my jeers.
I think it might be all our jeers, quite honestly.
That was,
It
like no.
it was a bad
Yeah.
moment. Yeah. I mean, for really just tossing everyone under the bus one by one, and then it came to her daughter. And she could have said nothing, but she didn't. She went and called her a name, and Brianna's going to see that. And like, what? How would you feel if your mother
what?
said that? I mean, it would be horrible.
She did it knowingly on national TV.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say it in front of people and then just throw it under the bus, but you're doing it on national level.
Oh, I'm sure Brianna is gonna literally not let her she. It's
gonna be bad.
Yeah. I'm sure there's words that are gonna happen with that.
Totally. Allison, what are your cheers and jeers?
Well, that was my jeers. My cheers, I guess, could be a combo of, Meghan representing in that comment where, she's clearly always comfortable with delivering Bible.
Yes.
And I think, though, also shared with Heather. Heather delivered a lot of, consistent moments of clarity and truth.
As she does.
And
She's
I
very good on
appreciated
that.
her moments tonight of all that. So cheers to you, Heather.
Cheers to Heather. Yes.
And Meghan.
I got thinking when we go towards this, the reunions, we're going to have to give out some superlatives to these ladies, I think. Some of them have kind of made some strides and others have gone in the opposite direction. So we should probably give those out. I think it's been a colorful cast. What are your cheers and jeers?
Our own little Real Housewives awards.
Yes.
I like that. Well, my cheers go to Pastor Mike.
Yay!
He did not pass up the opportunity to get in there with those ladies. I'm pretty sure he's gunning for his own TV show. Because he was right in there like, oh, do you want me to go talk to them?
On OWN
like,
or something?
Wouldn't that be a great show,
Yeah.
right? You send the housewives to me and I talk out their problems.
Yeah.
I mean, hello. So cheers to Pastor Mike for
Yay,
not
Pastor
passing
Mike.
us that opportunity.
Did you notice though he disappeared the minute Shannon showed
That really
up?
got crazy?
Yeah, when it was crazy, it was like, where'd he go? Usually they show them walk off for consistency purposes, but no, he was out of there.
One man can only do so much, people.
right.
I'd be out of there too.
That's right. That's right. And
Too
my
much.
cheers are going to go also to Vicki for saying that about Brianna. I have other things I could think of for just not be the same as everyone else, but I'm not going to do that because that was the most horrible, terrible thing
We
that she
all
could
were
ever
just
said
like-
ever.
I know. I think that might be a
jaw
unanimous
Yeah.
cheers.
Well, my cheers is the line where Shannon says, "What is this, The Godfather with the limousine where they have to go one at a time and talk to her?" Because I thought it was great. Because at that point in the interview, you knew she was like so pissed. It was a classic Shannon. She was like so flustered, and she's like, "What is this?" And at this point, she has no respect for Vicki.
That was a good impression.
That's really good.
What is this? It's like me or my grandmother or Shannon. One of the three. And of course, my cheers go to just Vicki being a mess. But I really want to give cheers to Vicki's posse of people.
You're right.
Oh, those people.
All of them. There's one with the big blown out lips in the car. It's like they just. But I mean, I'm not making fun of people's appearances. I'm just saying it was a motley crew. I mean, I don't know who these people were. And then of course, her brother Billy just seemed like a sweet guy. And unfortunately, it seems like he was kind of taken advantage of. And I don't know who the hell he's dating.
Yeah, Grant, I actually...
Cheers to her, too.
Yeah, I like your
Cheers.
cheers. Because I think that's a really good segue into that moment. Because, Vicki brought her brother Billy and Billy's girlfriend Rhonda, and I just feel like she...
Help me, Rhonda.
She did the opposite of that, I feel like. Hurt me.
Anti-help me, Rhonda.
Hurt me, Rhonda. She brought... her brother and the girlfriend in law. And just orchestrated this whole ridiculous thing. She got up. She goes, "Oh no, everyone! I have to go to the bathroom," and then left. And then unleashed her people to attack these women. I feel like, and I just feel like she completely set Billy and Rhonda up to stir the pot and to really just be like, make sure those girls know that they've hurt me and that they're in the wrong and all of this.
And tell Tamra, the girls, that you saw the papers. Tell them you saw the papers.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, we don't know if this has really happened, but come on.
And that Rhonda, okay, Billy is Vicki's brother, so, there's blood, there's family, there's, I don't know what, you could try to justify it, but okay, whatever, it's family. But Rhonda, number one,
didn't make sense.
Who are you?
Right.
We've never seen you. Number two, even Shannon said she's only met her twice in her life, so that, leads me to think that maybe she hasn't met the other women, very much either.
Right.
And so, who is she to argue as if she knows these people?
She wanted to be on camera. And she wanted to, I don't know, kiss up to Vicki on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a little nod of advice to Vicki. I think if you're going to send your minions in, maybe cut them off alcohol-wise. Because Billy and Rhonda were both so wasted that they wouldn't have been able to state a case anyway. And they weren't the only ones. Shannon was slurring when Tamra came down after getting her hair and makeup done. She was probably drinking that champs on an empty tummy. But she was slurring her words. Everyone has just had... too many to be even having this discussion right now.
Yeah.
True.
And I think Billy likes to drink. We've seen that before on episodes, and they should have shut it down this time.
But and really low of Vicki to bring them into this situation that is celebrating Tamra. It's a very holy situation. And to unleash her BS onto this scenario that really is not the place for it. I just thought that was so tacky.
Yes, and cowardly.
Yes.
And it's just a total mean girl, I think.
Yeah. First she had to leave. She was in too much of a hurry. Then she had to sick her people on the women and turn it ugly and talk about Brooks and Brooks and Brooks and Brooks and cancer and Brooks and all these things. And it was just not the place.
I just think that there's some chunk that we're not being told. I just think it's too odd after the lunch that Vicki and Shannon had, when clearly Shannon was not trying to make waves. She was really trying to just sort of figure it out and find common ground.
She was in the middle of it.
Yeah. And so to go from that to now we're not talking to each other and why haven't you called me and all these things, it just, I feel like we're missing something. And I don't know what it was, but something else.
Yeah.
I believe that it can just be that ridiculous. That it's just oh, you didn't call me. Well, you didn't call me back. Well, I emailed you. Well, but I texted you, but you didn't respond for 5 days. I think it really could very well
and you
just
know what?
be that silly.
Shannon strikes me as the type of person who would probably demand an apology to move forward. So she probably took the lunch between her and Vicki as something of oh, I was attacked, regardless of what it was. So in her mind, she's probably thinking, I can't move forward with Vicki until I get an apology. I could see that as being a thing. And maybe Vicki's not trying to do that or
probably
something.
Thinks she didn't do anything wrong.
Vicki doesn't apologize.
Yeah, she doesn't apologize.
So I could see that sort of being perhaps the scenario between the two.
Well, I guess she'll apologize if it's a mutual apology. And we're both apologizing.
As long as the other person still goes first.
Yeah. And we'll say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
The thing that got me the most out of all this is how Vicki didn't want to be bothered even being involved. She was there. She walked right by Shannon when they were getting food. It was so awkward. But yet she's the one that came there with the agenda.
Yeah.
She's the one who orchestrated these people and had, like, you know, people do their work for her while she kept running off to the bathroom and stuff. So
no, truly, I know. And just made such a deal about it at the beginning to Tamra and just, oh, so grateful. This is so lovely. I'm so happy to be your friend. Meanwhile, I'm going to totally ruin your event and your party and your moment. That's how much I love you and how good of a friend you are to me. I'm going to mess this all up.
And Rhonda trying to get some type of a soundbite out of this said, well, she didn't ask to show you the papers when your husband was cheating. And it's like, what?
This is the worst.
That was not a Housewives level comeback.
No, she didn't ask you to see the records when you thought your husband was having an affair.
It's like not even the same thing. Like records of what? Like, well, like what are you talking about?
I know.
Maybe that should be my jeers. Actually, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. That was like next level BS right
Yeah,
there.
it's like medical records are a thing. Cheating records are not. What, like receipts? Or like, and then how does that even prove anything?
I just need to say, I miss the days when Gina would come on in the reunions or the finales and she would just stir that pot and make such a mess. I miss it. No, that's the real Housewives.
Well, I
that's
feel like
real Housewives.
Megan is coming on, and I'm sure she's going to be doing some of that on the finale.
Oh yeah,
I mean on the
she's
reunion.
not disappointed thus
I
far.
know, but like it's so sad we gone are the days of Gina just being like F all of you.
We don't know. She might come back in the reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, Andy always has surprises up his sleeve.
And you know what?
Sometimes.
I have an additional note to make as well. I feel like this whole entire season, I've had some moments with Shannon where I've not been, you know, so favorable towards her or her actions. However, I feel like I totally feel differently about her on this finale episode because it's like everything has shifted. She truly was trying to help Vicki this whole entire time, and that was shown. And then like things are not, you know, Vicki just completely flipped in terms of her, you know, feelings towards Shannon, which doesn't make sense to me. And she's really become good friends with all the other ladies, and she really made a lot of sense on tonight's episode. She was like funner and just her thoughts were clearer. Everything made sense tonight. So I like it a lot better. That's me.
You want to like her.
I want to like her so bad. I truly do. And every time something weird would happen, I'd be like, oh man, not again. Now I have to talk about this in not a good way. But I'm so happy that now.
You tried your best all season to defend her.
Thank you. I tried. But truly, I feel like I've arrived now at the finale. Yes, we're good now. All right.
I want to know if her and Shannon are talking. Are they
Shannon and
Megan?
No,
at this point,
they've
now?
both said that they are not talking.
I don't
Shannon's mad
understand.
about Shannon is mad about things that Megan has said in the interviews, and they are not speaking.
But we moved past all that. That was like 10 episodes ago.
No, but they've both said even recently that that's why they're not talking.
She's in therapy, doesn't she know?
None of them are talking to each other. That's what they do.
Yeah,
that's what they do. That's how they start up a new season,
and then,
getting them all back together.
The redemptions. How many times have you seen the redemption storyline on this show? Well,
true.
Shannon walks right up to Vicki and says, "Thank you for being a great friend."
I liked that.
That was good.
I liked it.
Good,
I didn't have a problem with that call out.
That was good.
Yeah,
not as good as "Have a good day." That Rhonda B tells her to have a good day and turns around and calls her the B word, which I don't say.
I like the passive aggressive smile Shannon had on her face when she was saying that line.
Delivering it to Vicki.
Yes.
Yeah. And Vicki thought at first for a moment she thought she was really being sincere, and she was like, "Oh yeah." Oh, like wait,
She's
no.
like, what?
That was great.
This is turning very quickly.
Yep.
Allison, you pointed out that Rhonda and her behavior outside, you said, oh, that was low class.
It was, wasn't
Expand, yes.
Well, I don't know. It just seemed. Just where did you come from, and why are you participating in this conversation?
Yeah,
Don't get involved. I just feel like, you know, Heather would never do that, or she would. Only do it if she had valuable information, and her approach would be something of like, I'm only doing this because I want to help you and I'm not trying to hurt you, and let's take a sensible approach to all of this. And no, Rhonda was just clear, like,
Heather even said
low. She shot low, and
she did.
She didn't even belong
Low
there.
blow.
Yeah.
Low blows.
So that's what I kind of remember.
Yeah. Heather even said, she laid it down. She laid down that rule. She said, you do not talk about a girlfriend's personal business because it is uncool.
Yes.
That was the technical term for it. Uncool.
Okay, so maybe that's what I should have said. Uncool. Not
It wasn't
I
cool. But I
agree.
also agree.
Yes.
Very low class.
Okay,
Not good. No, it wasn't good.
It was not good.
Not good.
That was kind of the only place where I would have defended Vicki on tonight's episode, was the telling Rhonda and Billy about Shannon's affair. It's like, at this point, everybody knows. And this is one of those things where, like I would tell my mom stuff about my friends.
Yeah.
You know, things that of course, you wouldn't tell anyone where it would actually get out. But, like, you tell your mom or your sister or whoever, like, you talk about your friends and they know who they are. You're like, oh my God, you'll never guess what's going on with Shannon and David.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was a little bit like,
Well, I do
you
agree
shouldn't
with
tell
that.
anyone in the group and they live in Chicago or something, right? Like,
No, the telling, I didn't think, whatever. She told. That's fine. It's just Rhonda should have zipped it.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
You don't
was
then
just-
pass that information in a conversation to someone
yeah.
that you've only met twice.
Yeah,
Right.
it's low
That-
class to use that as ammunition.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
This is not your place for this information.
Right. Yes.
Stay in your lane.
No, see, and that's why I feel like it was orchestrated by Vicki. I feel like she fed this information
On
to
purpose, like
uh-huh.
right in the limo as
Yep.
they're driving there. Hey, by the way, Shannon and David.
Yeah. So when I get up and go to the bathroom, go start all this and bring it all up and, like, you know, just really get on them really hard and, you know,
not
do all
impossible.
this.
Make Shannon feel as bad as she made me feel that
Totally.
day.
Yeah.
Totally. We all good? Cool. Go into the bathroom.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
get to work.
Yeah.
What was the line that Heather said last year? If everyone says you're dead,
Everyone says you're
Late-
dead. It's time to lie down.
thank you.
That was such a good line.
I like it. Well, that's
good.
kind of how I feel about Vicki at this point with Brooks, with this limo scene when Tamra comes in. We've already talked about it, but the PET CT scan, she's continuing to stand up and talk about and defend this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like when I was
What
really
is
hoping,
happening?
I
He's
was
got
hoping,
some magic.
I was hoping at that point she was just gonna be like, okay,
I give up.
forget
I
it.
know.
Like, when do you give up? How long do you keep defending someone?
F it, I lied.
She even says straight out, she's just like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. Like, she doesn't know the facts, so how can she really keep 100% standing behind her man?
Right.
I really hope some stuff is revealed during the reunion because the way that they ended her on this episode was just like, that's it?
Yeah.
I know.
That's it? That's all we get?
We
That
were
was-
strung along.
We kind of
totally.
were. I mean, really nothing.
Yeah.
Although you might have some info.
Well, and no wonder she's having a mental breakdown. Like that is stressful. Like
Yeah.
how could you go on defending someone if you truly don't know, or if you do know and it's a bad thing? Like
Yeah.
just your whole everything would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's too much work to keep up a lie like
Way
that.
too much work. Like, what is this person doing that is so fantastic and wonderful and your life depends on it that you have to muck everything up and, like, be ruining your soul?
On the upside, Brianna is now gonna come back and live with Vicki and
Hopefully,
do therapy
yeah.
on her or something.
Well, they certainly
Fingers
could
crossed.
use it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so let's take a look at kind of what's happening more along lines in the present day with the news and gossip. from
Ooh, I
Christy
want to
Reports.
know.
My favorite part.
I know, I'm like, what's happening,
Give
Christy?
it to us, Christy.
Well, we'll get to who Brooks is suing over all of this.
What?
Yes, but first, just a little update from last week. You remember that it was revealed that Heather knew about the affair long before the other ladies did, and someone kind of took her to task on Twitter and was like, it's terrible that you didn't tell Shannon about the affair. And Heather's response was, I couldn't prove it, and she wouldn't have believed me anyway.
That's true.
At the time, no.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Fair.
You
I
can't
think that's
take.
fair.
I think that's absolutely fair. Like Heather would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, touche. She
is.
And Brooks has apparently had finally enough of all this talk that his cancer is fake. He sent a cease and desist letter to Meghan with a deadline saying if you don't publicly apologize and state that what you're saying isn't true, you will be sued for defamation. Now that deadline has come and gone.
He
It was
needs
like-
more money.
That's right. It was like last Wednesday or something. She says, I'm not going to apologize. She's just waiting around for the lawsuit to come because
There's
she
nothing
doesn't think
there.
it's going to happen
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Brooks, in the meantime, is saying that he's actually going to stop talking about all of this and has announced on his Twitter that he won't be talking about cancer or Meghan or the lawsuit because he is under pending litigation. So he really wants Meghan and Jim to think that he's going to sue Meghan, but I mean, it remains to be seen whether
I
that's
don't know.
actually
Is that-
happening or not.
Is that
What?
really defamation, though? Is that really a good example of
I mean,
defamation?
I doubt they could
she
actually
was
prove
delivering like factoids that supported,
Yeah.
a lot. So I don't know if it was.
defamation has to be vicious. They have to prove that it's in vicious nature, and also that you knew that what you were saying isn't true.
Right,
It's part of defaming someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it qualifies.
I don't think it qualifies.
I think she's in the clear.
She believes what she's saying for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you posted on that and see if Meghan does indeed get sued. And in the meantime, a little Vicki Brianna update. Vicki last week, remember she was saying, her mom was cool with Billy, and there was some controversy. Brianna was saying Grandma definitely was not cool with
Brooks.
With Brooks, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. So Vicki said on Twitter, she kind of wanted to put this to rest, and she said it is not true that her mother didn't like Brooks. She said, my mother just wanted me to be happy, and she wanted to accept whatever decision I made.
Well, that doesn't mean she endorsed the relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so maybe Vicki's making it kind of gray. It probably was gray in the first place.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Well, despite the comment made in tonight's episode, I was reading an article on BravoTV.com where Brianna says that Vicki's her best friend, and I think that's a great thing.
Because she's the bigger person.
Yeah. So all was forgiven. House of Gunvalson.
I love her.
Yeah.
Too.
They need to put her on the show more.
Full time.
It all comes back to her. Tonight's episode all came back to her. Statements pretty much. Like, I think so anyway. So let's...
I know, she's becoming a storyline, and she's not even
Yeah, she's not even-
here
no
to
one's got it.
represent.
That's a good housewife. Like, if you're a storyline and you're not even there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
truly.
you go. That's
She's not
true.
even in the state. So
She would be the first, offspring
in the family,
right?
Yeah.
And she could start a whole thing.
Of the whole franchise, right? Because no other. I like it.
it would make a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
good.
sense. But I just don't know if she would be game for it.
No,
I
I
feel like
don't
she
know.
doesn't need it.
No,
Yeah.
it's not her bag. I don't think.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows?
It could be a money thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's predict about the reunion real quick.
I think it's going to be a
It's
lot
a
of
hard
shit
one.
stirring.
I know.
Lots of shit stirring
Yeah.
is going to be happening.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be
Megan's a
interesting.
brunette.
Lots of cancer talk.
I liked Megan's hair. I thought
Yeah,
it looked good.
she's very
Oh,
cool.
yeah, it looks great, a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And we're finally going to get to see this Brooks sit down with Andy Cohen. My prediction is that we are going to get absolutely no
Nothing.
answers from
I
him.
agree with you. I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it's just going to be spinning wheels.
But what'll be really interesting is if the ladies see the interview, like if they play it for the ladies and then
Yeah.
talk about
I
it,
want them
or
to.
how
Right.
that's going to work. Yeah.
that would be wise.
I predict that at the end of all this reunion, we are gonna get at least some shade of light come through from Vicki, and we're gonna get a glimpse at something. We have to get some payoff.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's true.
And
A long season.
And if, I know.
Truly
and if
has.
we keep getting these little stories along the way with the IV and all these things about the doctors, I'm sure more is going to happen in this reunion for sure. So
Yeah.
I'm like really curious to see what's going to be broken all these months later. So
With you.
yes, okay. Where can we find everyone on Twitter, real quick?
Yes, I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Oh, and I would love it if you would please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christy Reports, and please also check out ChristyReports.com.
And you guys can find me over on Twitter at Grants__Rants. And you can please support me on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk, on iTunes and Stitcher for Android. That'll do it for us for the finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County. More reunion to come.
Woo! See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.